Yeah. WrestleMania 41 Night 2 is officially over and done with. It's in the books. We will dive into WrestleMania 41 Night 2 from April the 20th, 2025. Happy Easter. Hope you guys have a good one and a safe one. Night 2 was leaps and bounds better than Night 1. The crowd was basically invested in all of the matches. The main event was extremely questionable. We'll talk about that when we get to it, because that really irked me. But there's nothing that can be done now. It's over and done with, so it is what it is. So we kick the show off with Stephanie McMahon. She gets a big reaction. She says last time WrestleMania was held in Las Vegas was at WrestleMania 9, which took place at Caesar's Palace when she was 16 years old. Now we're here in Allegiant Stadium for WrestleMania 41, and her middle daughter is 16 years old. WWE has always been a part of her life, which includes all the fans. The fans are a part of her family because WWE is family. She's so incredibly proud to say welcome home and welcome to night 2 of WrestleMania. Just a bunch of corporate bullshit, basically. That's all it was. WWE does not care about its fan base, and it has not in years. And ever since TKO took over, it's been extremely noticeable. So it's just a bunch of corporate nonsense. Ever since Vince sold, it's just been corporate nonsense, and it is what it is, and I don't like it, but there's nothing that can be done. There's nothing that can be done at all, so we have to just, quote-unquote, accept it and embrace it, pretty much. So, we kicked the actual show off with the first match of the night, which was basically the match of the night. Actually, no, I'll go as far as say it was the match of the entire weekend for the main roster. The triple threat match for the Women's World Championship. IYO Sky versus Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair. So Bianca had a really good entrance. Her stepdaughter was involved. The two of them, they embraced. So basically they were doing like a bunch of dance routines, and they were playing double dutch and stuff like that. That was pretty cool. So that was interesting. Rhea had a really good entrance, and the same thing with IYO. This match was really solid and fun. A bunch of good triple threat spots here. IYO is so damn good. She's solid. IYO is actually one of the best female wrestlers in the world. Like, she's probably going to be in my top 5. Like, IYO is solid. And Bianca and Rhea, they're in that same boat too. I'm a fan of Rhea. I'm an even bigger fan of Bianca. So there's a bunch of good power moves in this as well. IYO ended up pulling out a bunch of dives and drop kicks and stuff. Her counters in this match were amazing, turning things into like Hurricane Ranas and arm drags and stuff like that. So the finish basically came when Bianca and Rhea, they were brawling, basically trading headbutts and punches back and forth. Rhea was going to go for the Riptide. Bianca, she reversed it, and she ended up hitting Rhea with her braid like she did Mercedes Moné at WrestleMania 37. She ended up hitting the KOD, and then IYO Sky hit the over the moonsault, and she covers Bianca. 1, 2, 3. This match was fun. Everyone sold perfectly. There wasn't really a whole bunch of rest in the match like it was for the men, like with Seth Rollins and Roman and CM Punk. Their triple threat match at night 1, this was not like that. You had like 1 or 2 of those spots, but throughout most of this match, everyone got their stuff in. And this is great. IYO deserves this. She's earned it. What do you do with Bianca and Rhea going forward? I don't know. I would book Rhea and Bianca at SummerSlam. I think that would make the most sense. And you just build them up with personal feuds. IYO, I don't know who she could feud with for a while. I don't know. But this match was awesome. Really good way to start the show. Crowd was super into everything. And good shit. That's all I can say. Good stuff. Moving on. So this leads us into the Sin City Street Fight. Drew McIntyre defeats Damian Priest. Match was hard-hitting. It was okay, but if you've seen one street fight in WWE, you've seen them all. And I'm talking about like the modern day street fights. So they ended up using steel chairs, tables, steel steps. So Damian Priest ended up hitting Drew McIntyre with the Razor's Edge through a table. Only got a 2 count. Drew McIntyre ended up taking a selfie in the middle of the match, which was great. That was awesome. I love that shit. That was great. The finish came when Damian Priest was going to do old school, and Drew McIntyre just literally shoved him off the top rope. Damian Priest crashed and burned through 2 tables. He got back into the ring. Drew put a steel chair around the neck of Damian Priest. Ended up doing the Claymore, which was nasty, and got the 1, 2, 3. Pretty good stuff here, but this is something that could have taken place on SmackDown, and you still would have gotten probably the same result. Hopefully this is the end of their feud, but something tells me it's not. It's just beginning in my book. So hopefully they can end their feud at Backlash in May. So, there's that. But the match was pretty good, 2 big hosses fighting back and forth, 2 big lions, so that's fun. Moving on. This leads us into the Fatal 4-Way for the WWE Intercontinental Championship. This was the second best match of the night. This was solid. Penta versus Dominik Mysterio versus Finn Balor versus Braun Breaker. Everyone played their parts perfectly. Really good shit. So Braun ended up hitting a couple spears, a couple military presses. Dom was being like a sneaky heel. Crowd was super into this shit. So there was a point in the match where he ended up going for the 619 on Finn Balor, but Finn Balor dodged it, which was great. Penta, he ended up hitting his Penta driver in there, but Braun was able to break up the pinfall. The finish came... Well, no, Carlito, he showed up towards the end of the match. Braun ended up spearing him through one of the announce tables he got on the second one, and then ended up spearing him through the other one, which was great. That was badass. Really good spot. And then the finish came when Finn Balor, he ended up hitting the coup de grace on Braun, and then Dom hit a perfect frog splash for the 1, 2, 3 on Balor, and he's the new Intercontinental Champion. This was fucking brilliant. I loved this. Dirty Dom is a gem. He's over. He's been over for years. And this is much deserved for him. This is well deserved. I love this. So this continues the Finn Balor Dominik Mysterio feud, which should be interesting. And I'm actually down for that. Braun, maybe you could build him up a little bit more, and maybe you have him go after Jey Uso. Because I don't expect for Jey to have a long run, maybe like a 3 to 4 month reign as champion. So maybe you might want to do Braun and Jey maybe at SummerSlam. I think that would be great. Because Braun, he's definitely a main event guy. He definitely is. And Penta, he'll be fine. He just got there not too long ago. He's been there about 3 months. He'll be fine. So good shit. Glad that Dominik Mysterio won. Moving on, so this leads us into Randy Orton. He has his open challenge. Randy says this is his 20th WrestleMania. He says he would be here at WrestleMania 41, ready to go. Who's going to come through that curtain? Whoever is going to get the WrestleMania moment, the courtesy of the 3 most dangerous letters in sports entertainment, RKO. This was great. And then Joe Hendry ended up answering the call. The roof off the building exploded. Just like when Dominik Mysterio won the IC title, the same thing happened when Joe Hendry showed up. This was great. I'm loving the TNA NXT partnership. It's been tremendous. Joe Hendry is so damn good. I don't know what he's doing. I don't know if he's manifesting stuff. I don't know what the hell he's doing. But, man, homeboy has already had a phenomenal 2025, and we're just 4 months into the year. 4 months in, and this dude has already competed at 2 of the biggest pay-per-views that WWE has to offer. He was at the Royal Rumble, and he was at WrestleMania 41. Great stuff. Excellent stuff. Match went about 3 minutes. Wasn't long. Randy took like 3 bumps, so like a scoop slam, Joe Hendry's follow-away slam, and I think it was like a couple of punches. Well, no, and a neck breaker he took from Joe Hendry. Then Joe Hendry ended up doing his pose as he was about to go for a standing ovation. He ended up doing his pose, and then Randy hit the RKO out of nowhere. 1, 2, 3. Makes perfect sense. Post-match, Randy ends up celebrating with Joe Hendry. He helps him up. He hits another RKO on Joe Hendry, and then Orton then does Joe Hendry's pose, and then he spins to do his own pose, which was great. Love this shit. This was a great moment. I know a lot of us probably wanted it to be like a Rusev or an Aleister Black, but I'm pretty sure Triple H has plans for those guys, and it didn't need, to be somebody like that. It could have been somebody from NXT like a Trick Williams or Oba Femi, but you don't want Oba or Trick to just be in a 3-minute match. That would be kind of lame. If it were to be Trick or Oba, Randy probably would have just worked maybe about 10 to 12 minutes, and 12 minutes is pushing it, so probably 10 minutes for Randy. 10 minutes. So, it is what it is. But this was great. I loved it. Excellent stuff. Joe Hendry probably will be in WWE sometime next year. Guarantee you that. Moving on. So this leads us into AJ Styles versus Logan Paul. Logan Paul defeats AJ Styles. Logan Paul had an okay entrance. He had a WWE drum with him. He was just walking around stage with it, and that was it. So, there's that. I know people are gonna shit on this match, but AJ, just like Randy and John Cena, all those guys are past their prime. AJ's last good match was with Shane McMahon when Shane was still there. He had some good matches in 2016 and 2017 as well, but for the last 5 or 6 years, he's not been up to par with things, and it's not it's not something that we should be worried about. AJ's a vet. He's been doing it for years, so it's fine. Logan Paul is a gem. He did a bunch of his moonsaults and all that stuff, and he did a great lion salt in the match. That was great. So towards the end of the match, AJ was down. Then there was a guy named Jeff who was a part of, I guess, Logan Paul's entourage. Who the hell is Jeff? I hate when they do shit like that. So Jeff showed up. He ended up getting some brass knuckles. Then Karrion Kross showed up. He got rid of the brass knuckles. He wanted AJ to use the brass knuckles. AJ ended up refusing. And then he ended up hitting Kross with just a punch, taking out Kross. And then Logan Paul ended up hitting the pulverizer for the 1, 2, 3. And that was it. So this is fine. It makes perfect sense. It seems like we're going to have an AJ Styles Karrion Kross feud. I'm down for that. And Logan Paul is okay. He's solid. I like him. Good in-ring worker, but he needs better character work. But, he'll grow into that. He'll grow into it, though. So, yeah. Moving on. So this leads us into Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan versus Lyra Valkyria and Becky Lynch for the women's tag team championships. So it was revealed earlier on in the show that Bayley got attacked. I don't know. We don't know who attacked her. So she was taken out. I know people were mad about it. Mercedes, she complained on Twitter and all that. Who cares? Bayley didn't need to be at WrestleMania. And you can kind of say the same thing for Lyra Valkyria. Either she was going to defend her IC title or she wasn't going to be on the card. But thankfully, she was on the card. Becky Lynch showing up makes perfect sense. She's the mentor of Lyra Valkyria, basically. She's kind of having Lyra under her wing. Lyra had a pretty cool little entrance. She had, gold wings, which was great. So, yeah. Becky Lynch ended up getting the win via the manhandle slam for the 1-2-3 on Liv Morgan, which is fine. Because Liv, she basically beat Becky and sent her packing for basically a year. So, that's cool there. So, Lyra now is a double champion. And, that's not going to fly for long in WWE. I wouldn't be surprised that maybe Lyra has to end up relinquishing her title. And then maybe we get a Fatal 4-Way or something like that or whatever on Raw, maybe. And then you do, I guess you could call somebody up from NXT. Maybe a Roxanne Perez or whatever. I don't know. But that's kind of where I see it going. This was crazy to me that this was the actual co-main event. That was weird to me. But I see why they did it. It makes sense, though. And Becky got a good reaction, though, too. Becky got a really good reaction. All right, moving on. This leads us into Stone Cold Steve Austin. He shows up, gets a massive pop. He's on a AV TV four-wheeler. He ends up crashing into a barricade, knocking a woman over, allegedly. So Steve checks on her. He gets in the ring. He says, Austin says, if they're having a great time, then, at Mania, give him a hell yeah. The crowd does it. He wants it louder. Pause. So they give it to him. They give him a louder hell yeah. He announces the attendance, which ended up being 63,226 people. And so Austin says he doesn't believe it. He begins to count from 1 to 10, and then the crowd just chants what? And then he ends up adding the total count for both nights, which ended up being 124,693 in attendance, which is pretty cool. Good stuff. So, yeah. Hopefully the woman's gonna be okay. She should, because those barricades are pretty strong. I hope that Steve wasn't drunk. I don't think he was. He may have had maybe 1 or 2 beers before coming to the ring, but I don't think he'd be that, damn crazy to drink 5 or 6 beers before he came out there. There's no way. Hell, I ain't buying that shit. I could see him drinking maybe 1 or 2, maybe 3, but that's pushing it. But I don't know. She should be okay, though. Hopefully. She should be all right. So we'll have to wait and see on that one. All right, let's lead us into the main event of the evening. John Cena versus Cody Rhodes for the undisputed WWE Championship. So John Cena just had a basic heel entrance. It was all blacked out. He wore, black attire, black Cena attire. Cody Rhodes he had his entrance, a bunch of dirt bites and all that. They were, riding up and down and stuff, so that was pretty cool there. He ended up having his skull mask that he wore for WrestleMania 40. He ended up having that. That's pretty cool. So, John Cena defeats Cody Rhodes with the help of, not The Rock, fucking Travis Scott. Yes, Travis Scott helps John Cena defeat Cody Rhodes. Yes. So basically the match was a finisher fest. John Cena, wrestled basically typical heel. He ended up doing like power moves like the side slam, big boot. So Kevin Nash would be proud. This reminded me of like 1997, 1998, 1999, maybe maybe early 2000 Kevin Nash as well. So yeah. Cena ended up doing not one, not two, but three AAs or FUs. And Cody ended up kicking out of basically all of them. He ended up doing a super AA from the top rope. Cody kicked out. Then Cody Rhodes and Cena, they fought some more. There was a ref bump that was involved, basically. And that's when Travis Scott came out. He had like a 3-minute entrance, and I hate that. If you're going to do this stuff, do it right. Travis should have immediately ran to the ring with like a steel chair in hand. Him and Cody had some words. Cody ended up giving Travis Scott a crossroads. So basically he got his receipt because the crossroads is like one of the safest moves to take, basically. So then Cena ended up fighting Cody some more. He ended up getting Cody into the STF. Cody got out of that. Then Cena brings in the title. Him and Cody, they fight over it. Cody ends up getting it. And he ends up, being total good guy. He doesn't use the belt. Cena low blows Cody. Then he hits him with the title. 1, 2, 3. John Cena wins number 17. And I'm just like, what the fuck is going on? How dumb is this? I didn't like the finish. It was dumb. You really should have had The Rock show up and interfere. If not, you could have had Seth Rollins show up. But my thing is, where in the fuck was The Rock? Where was he? This was his storyline that he started. He got himself involved in this story. He only showed up one time. That was when it happened at the Elimination Chamber back in March 1st. And fast forward, he's done nothing. He's not shown up or anything like that. Nowhere to be found. And John Cena's champion. We all get that John Cena's a massive star. He can handle this all by himself. But, man, The Rock should have been there. The Rock should have shown up, man. Come on, bro. If you were going to get involved in this storyline, in this angle, he should have showed up, man. No exceptions. No exceptions. Even if it was just to show up for, just to do, a rock bottom and people's elbow and something like that. And, maybe bust Cody up in a little bit or whatever. Because I was expecting The Rock to show up, have a full beatdown on Cody, pause, post-match. The Rock costs Cody. Seth Rollins comes out. All three of them beat up Cody, from John Cena, Seth Rollins, and The Rock. And, it's revealed that Seth Rollins is the new guy to join the corporation. But none of that shit even happened. So, this sucks. It is what it is. At this point, nothing can be done. It's all on John Cena. I'm guessing Triple H is pivoting, I guess, which is fine. But it seems like it's going to be, John Cena doing probably 50% and Triple H doing his 50% of it, I guess. I don't fucking know. But this really pissed off a lot of people, myself included, and this was just not good. But overall, WrestleMania 41 night 2 was extremely solid. I love the women's match, IYO, Bianca, and Rhea. I also enjoyed the Fatal 4-Way with Braun Breaker, Dominik Mysterio, Finn Balor, and Penta. That was great. Becky Lynch returning was pretty cool. But that main event, though, was not good. But what did you guys think of WrestleMania Night 2? And what was your... what did you guys like more? What Mania... what night were you guys more into? Night 1 or Night 2? Let me know. Like, comment, subscribe. Peace.